Hey everybody, Dr. Chris, orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine physician, and today I'm reacting to Steven Seagal breaking bones. So as you may or may not know, I'm an orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah, I got it.
That's the surgeon that deals with broken bones.
Okay, yeah.
And since that's what I do for a living, I thought there'd be nothing better than to watch a compilation of Steven Seagal breaking bones. Of course, I'm gonna give you my opinion. As an adult, when I look back at this, I kind of think that Steven Seagal was kind of corny. But when I was young, Steven Seagal was the man. He knew how to break every bone. Let's get to watching Steven Seagal breaking bones.
Hell yeah.
Okay, okay, so we have the first one here. Steven Seagal, yeah, he's got the guy laying on his belly. I'm not sure why the guy would be laying on his belly while Steven Seagal twists his ankle, but that's what we have. Here, we have a fracture, dislocation of the ankle. He's gonna twist the ankle until the bone breaks.
Of course he doesn't actually break any bones. Is he breaking bones for real?
This is a movie. No bad guys were hurt in the making of this movie. It's fiction. Fiction. It's Steven Seagal looking like he broke bones. Suspension of disbelief, you know what I'm saying? So obviously with a fracture dislocation, that's gonna hurt like a mother.
I'm gonna kick his ass.
Oh.
But that's something that's potentially treatable with surgery. After rehabilitation, that criminal is gonna go on to walk well again.
If you tell anyone about this, I'll kill you. I'm kidding. We'll come back by tonight. Okay, sweetheart?
All right, let's go on to number 2 here. Okay, so we have Steven Seagal grabbing the guy. Oh! So we have the forced hyperextension of the wrist. And the fingers. Like Steven Seagal was apparently like an Aikido guy or a Hapkido guy, so he did a lot of joint locks and that kind of stuff. But of course, he had to take it to the extreme. But I think he's breaking his fingers at the metacarpal phalangeal joint right here. When you bend them that far, something's gonna break. And to fix something like that, they would perform an open reduction and internal fixation of each of the bones broken in the finger. However, since the bones of the hand are quite small, some of those bones might not be able to be immobilized with plate fixation appropriately. In that case, they might be pinned percutaneously, which means putting a pin through the skin to hold those bones in place. Or if it was really bad, they may use something that is called an external fixator, which is a frame used to secure pins placed into the bones of your hand and wrist.
Like a big giant baseball glove?
You're a cute one.
No,
Oh.
no. Let's see what else he breaks. Oh, I think, hey, yeah, we got this one in slow motion. So I think this is one of Steven Seagal's patented moves. He loves to do the finger locks, but I think he also likes to do this one too. They play a crunching sound, like as if the bone would be breaking here. And maybe it might, but I think mostly what would be happening is that this is a dislocation, anterior dislocation of the elbow. So basically, he's gonna bend the elbow backwards 90 degrees in the direction that it's not supposed to go.
Oh, hell no!
The first thing that's gonna happen is that the elbow joint is going to be dislocated. And maybe if he did it quickly enough, or if he did it forcefully enough, or he did it in a direction that's not exactly straight in line with the joint, he might also cause a fracture of the joint at the olecranon or of the distal humerus, which is the end of the humerus. I can remember seeing this move quite often in Steven Seagal movies. Dislocation of the elbow, possible fracture dislocation of the elbow.
Will it sound like that when it breaks?
Here they've used a crunching sound to stimulate bone breaking. It might just kind of go pop, something like that. You might actually hear a ripping as the capsule gets torn. I don't think it's gonna make a crunch. Snap! All right, let's move on to number 4. Again, here we've got a combo because, you know, Steven Seagal is the master. I think he's got a fracture dislocation of the elbow, and then he's got something else going on at the wrist, and that's gonna hurt. And this guy's gonna have trouble using his criminal elbow and criminal hands in the future. He'll be good at putting things underneath the desk. So now we're moving on to the next one, and boom, signature move. We have Steven Seagal with the elbow over the shoulder, bam, 90 degrees, opposite direction, new elbow, but it's at least a dislocation of the elbow. Possibly also a fracture of the elbow. But you know, he does it so quickly that probably it's a fracture dislocation of the elbow. And yeah, it's gonna hurt, and he's gonna be really good at putting things in his back pocket. He'll be good at putting things underneath the desk.
Is that the same as the last one?
It didn't do it the same way, but it's similar. The elbow seems to be one of his favorite joints. Boom! Ah! Obviously, Steven Seagal did not like this guy's knee. He caught the guy's kick here, and then while the guy is standing on the planted leg, Steven Seagal kicks his leg on the inside of the knee. This is going to be a bad injury. This is going to be a dislocation of the knee, and he will have a multi-ligament injury of the knee. If this were in real life, this is potentially a limb-threatening injury. If there were blood vessels that were involved, he could almost certainly lose that leg if he did not receive medical attention in a short enough period of time. He could also go on to have a neurologic dysfunction if the nerves to his distal extremity were also involved with this injury. This is a bad one.
Guess he shouldn't have been bad.
Crime does not pay.
Tell anyone about this, I'll kill you. I'm kidding. We'll come back by tonight. Okay, sweetheart?
All right, what's next? Ah! Okay, so this doesn't really look realistic. He's picking the guy right up, boom, smashing the guy across his knee, breaking his back. Maybe Steven Seagal's a big guy, but I don't think he's that big a guy, and I don't think he's that strong a guy. You could probably smash a guy hard enough over top of your knee that maybe you could break his back, but I think this is pretty difficult. When you see this shot and you see just how much this guy is bent in half, I don't think that's possible. I think that's pretty hokey. All right, what we got here? Oh, yep, we got the finger locks again. Finger locks, ooh, the guy's dancing, yikes. Now we go even one better because this next one, double finger locks. Double finger locks, and then he's going to whip like he's doing battle ropes or something. Double finger locks into the battle rope whip. And of course breaking multiple metacarpals, phalanges, and possibly metacarpophalangeal dislocations. Here we got this next one. So he doesn't even really do anything. He just kind of grabs the guy and really tight in a chokehold. Then they play the breaking bones sound. And then the guy falls to the ground. So I think we're supposed to imagine that Steven Seagal, gripped him so tightly that his neck broke. So let's do this next one here. Oh, Steven Seagal, last time Steven Seagal was holding the guy's leg and then he kicked him in the knee. So this time the guy's punching Steven Seagal, but boom, no.
What?
He's like, but boom, I ain't having any of that. Kicks him in the knee. And once again, we have a guy with a dislocation of the knee. As I said before, this is a very serious injury, potentially a limb-threatening injury. There is a very good possibility that you can have neurovascular compromise.
Pretend that you're out on the street in a dark alley.
And say, what?
And there's somebody coming at you. You have no way of defending yourself except for your feet. And you kick them in the knee from the front. That could stop them.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, you're in a dark alley and you can't escape and somebody comes to accost you and you have no other way of defending yourself other than to use your feet. Kick that person in the front of the knee. That's going to be a problem for that guy. And then you'll be able to get away. That's my safety tip of the day. What do we have? Another one here. Yeah! And I think Steven Seagal was just like fed up here. He was tired, he was lazy, he didn't want to expend any effort. You know, he'll break some fingers here. Even though the guy has his other hand, his feet, and the rest of his body, he just lays there on the ground and looks at Steven Seagal.
Please, sir, I want some more.
You know, he just does nothing.
You can't kick backwards.
He could try and get away.
How? He's getting his hand stepped on.
He could roll. He could do anything.
Please, sir, I want some more.
All right, so what do we got here? Okay, so this one, again, we have a wrist lock of some sort. And this one, I think he is doing some kind of forced supination of the wrist. Yeah, this would hurt. This would be relatively incapacitating. You might be able to dislocate the wrist, dislocate some of the bones of the carpus right here. You might be able to create some distal radioulnar joint instability, but I don't think you'd really break anything here. It would hurt a lot. Okay, boom. What do we got there? Oh, we got a combination of moves. Boom. Okay, so kind of an arm bar. Yeah, I'm not sure which one this is. If this is a Kimura or an Americana, you could potentially break your humerus with this. Not exactly the same way it happened to Big Nog when he fought Frank Mir in the UFC.
That pop. Watch it snap. That's not a pop, my friend. That's a broken arm. Look at that. Bang.
But you could definitely break your humerus from doing this one. And then he kind of incorporates that with another kick to the knee. So this is a combo. Arm bar, then with a kick to the knee. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. What do we got here? What is going on? Okay, so here we have the elbow dislocation over his arm trick. He likes to do that one a lot. So he kind of throws this guy around and then boom, with the 90-degree elbow dislocation over his own arm. I remember Joe Rogan talking about clips of Steven Seagal. Watching this guy,
It's easy to poke fun at him when he's old.
Joe Rogan, who is a 3-time national Taekwondo champion, a quite serious jiu-jitsu player. Joe Rogan having some kind of discussion saying that something along the lines of most of the stuff that Steven Seagal does looks good in the movies, but wouldn't work in real life.
The thing is, nobody comes at you like this, and this does not work.
Not everybody thinks he's the master of breaking bones, but even though I respect Joe Rogan, for the purpose of this video, Steven Seagal is the master of breaking bones. Thanks for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can keep up to date when we post new content. If you are a returning member of the intern army, hit the like button and share this video with a friend.
Reasons one, the leading scorer, Carmelo Anthony, 27 plus.
And as always, that's been a word from Dr. Chris, not your everyday ortho.